Welcome to Build Your Arsenal. I've done a review on the Springfield Armory SA-35, their take on the high power. Today we're going to take a closer look at the new FN high power and why you might pick it over the SA-35 and why you might want to opt for the SA-35 over the FN high power. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, if you think everything's okay with Biden, then make sure to give me a thumbs down. YouTube will thank you. But if you can't be gaslighted into thinking old Joe is sharp as a tack, then make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps tremendously. While retaining the classic high power heritage, the new FN high power has been updated for the 21st century. It's not pretending to be a reproduction, it's intentionally a new iteration of the high power. This really is the definitive issue that makes people either love it or hate it. So here are some of the biggest pros for the FN. You're going to gain improved ergonomics. A refined hammer and beaver tail help to eliminate hammer bite, and I think this has a better balance, which provides overall a better shooting experience. It has improved controls. The manual safety works better, especially when swiping it on and off. You have front and back strap checkering on the FN and not on the SA-35. The slide is much easier to rack on the new high power and is much smoother than the original high power or the SA-35. This is due to the improved action. The FN has a much better trigger in my opinion than the SA-35. It's again smoother, and because of this, it feels much lighter than it actually is. Improved capacity. I have to be careful here on my wording because of YouTube. 17 round magazines versus the original's 13 round magazines, plus no disconnect. You also get 2 magazines with the FN versus only the one with the SA-35. Modern safety features with a firing pin safety help enhance drop safety. Ambi controls for more versatility that are tastefully done and maintain the same classic aesthetics. The FN has a streamlined takedown procedure. This just makes it less of a pain and more intuitive to field strip. It's also worth noting that the FN uses an internal extractor versus the external extractor. To my knowledge, the FN has not had the reliability issues of the SA-35. Lastly, it's American-made, built at FN's factory in Columbia, South Carolina. What are some of the cons? As far as size and weight, it's larger and heavier than its predecessors. The FN is 40 ounces versus the 31.5 ounces of the SA-35. It's slightly longer and taller than the SA-35 as well. This really isn't a con for me because this is primarily a range gun for my use, so I appreciate the extra weight to tame recoil, but it's just something to be aware of. Holster compatibility. Holsters designed for older models may not fit the new high power due to its size. You also have issues of magazine compatibility. The old high power mags won't work in the new FN. If you're a traditionalist, you may not like the new design or those incompatibilities. That's fair enough, but FN does sell wood grips to give you more of the classic vibes. But this is intentionally a new take on the high power, and the original reason for discontinuing the high power was that it was a dinosaur and it was no longer selling. So it's interesting to me that some complain that the new FN isn't faithful enough to the old. I like that FN did something substantial to improve an old design. It seems to me that others are starting to take note, especially if you just look at the new P226s from SIG, for example. The biggest con for me is that they did not make it optics ready. I know that is tantamount to committing blasphemy, but to really make it a modern design, which was the aim of FN, they needed to do this. With the new FN high power, you still get the timeless style of the original high power. If you appreciate the lineage, history, and the sleek lines of the original high power, the FN high power aims to capture that timeless style while offering modern enhancements. That's why it's in my arsenal. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.